Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia offers the widest selection of sports cards and signed memorabilia in the city. For dedicated casual and new collectors, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia has everything a collector could ask for. Everything we sell is stored with care, and with help from our knowledgeable team, we'll help you find exactly what you're looking for. We carry Upper Deck hockey card brands like Series 1 and 2, the Cup, Ultimate, SPA, and plenty more. So what are you waiting for? Come down to Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store.
And welcome in Manitoba female U18 AAA hockey fans into what could be the final MFHL game day live stream of the season and final game of the MFHL season in general, as the Eastman Selects look to close things out this afternoon in this best of 5 championship series against the Winnipeg Avros, as Eastman up 2-0 with a win would claim their second title in program history. The Avros trying to avoid that possibility by winning this game this afternoon and extending things into a Game 4 on Tuesday night in Winnipeg, Manitoba at the Seven Oaks Arena. I'm your host, Graham, the G-Show Forsyth, as well as your play-by-play commentator. If you've been with us all season long, you've known that we've covered a lot of Eastman Selects hockey. We've covered our fair share of Avros games and been able to watch both of them play each other in the regular season twice now in these finals. And it hasn't disappointed if you've been with us all season long. We're hoping that, it doesn't end here, as well as if you're new to our channel and tuning in for the first time here. The fan in me hoping that this series gets extended between the Avros and the Selects with an Avros win, but would be special as well to see Eastman finish it off, as we'll take a look at the bracket to start things off here. Eastman, a win away from not only winning a championship, but finishing off a season where they've had their most wins ever in a regular season, had their highest ranking ever. They'd never been the 1 seed, now they have been this year, and they're also a win away from going perfect here. As for the Winnipeg Avros, well, their path to a victory is 3 straight wins, can't allow another loss, and for this team, they've had their backs up against the wall already in these playoffs, heading back into the semifinal series against the Winnipeg Ice, where Winnipeg trailed twice in that series, the Avros that is, against the Ice. The Ice had them down 2-1, but it was big-time goaltending from Adriana Almeida, big-time performances from players like Rio Pierre, Kelsey Dinez scoring in that Game 5 victory to send the Avros through to the finals against the Ice in those semis, but it looks like it's going to take a lot more for this Avros squad, and they're going to need to be able to find another gear, as for the first time since 2022, 2023, we're going to be crowning a new champion this season. Will we crown a new champion this afternoon specifically? Well, for this Winnipeg Avros side, as we got to update their graphic into here, which I unfortunately can't, but remember their keys to the game being in terms of, would this be it for this Avros team? Do you got enough fight left in you to be able to extend this season, breathe new life into this squad, and just make you believe Eastman's had this Avros team number all season long, really. 3-1 against them in the regular season, and then 2-0 against them so far in the playoffs. The only team in the MFHL to shut out the Avros as well. So the question for the Avros is, can you find another gear in your game? Because you played pretty decent in Game 2 compared to Game 1. kept the shots way closer, as Eastman only had a few more than yourselves. You had some good pushes throughout that game, but it wasn't enough. Simply put, for the Avros, you got to make a play at the net. Your big-time players got to step up. You got to continue to get saves and make smart decisions in your own end. But even then, it's going to be tough against a Eastman Selects squad. So we finally find it there, the keys to the game for the Avros. Make a play at the net. That's what I was just talking about. But as for the Select squad, a chance to end it here this afternoon. Game 2 was status quo for this team. Even though they didn't hold a significant shot advantage, they got key saves. They had depth in scoring, as there were 3 different goal scorers. Heck, there was even a penalty shot in that game for them from Caitlin Schroeder. But I'd say don't change a thing unless you're forced to. This Eastman team hasn't wavered through any pressure this season. They've kept up their consistency. And the 1 seed looks to finish things off here this afternoon. The Avros look to keep themselves alive. Will we see the Selects bring home a 2nd championship in U18 AAA female program history? Or will it be Almeida, Pierre, and the rest of this Avros squad who drags this series back to Winnipeg on Tuesday night for a game number 4? We can't wait to see how it all unravels. Thank you for choosing G-Show Productions for this one. MFHL fans, your home for MFHL hockey here in the province of Manitoba. Selects, Avros. One more time, question mark? Or are we going to see this series extend? Tune in to find out. Coming up next, the puck drop for the first period and the national anthem. Live from an absolutely packed house this afternoon at the CRRC in Niverville, Manitoba. It's the Selects, it's the Avros, it's Game 3 of the MFHL Championship Final Series in 2025. As both teams giving their goaltenders stick taps before this game starts. Tomes in net for the Selects, Almeida for the Avros. This could very well be the end. If Eastman's able to finish it off and win here this afternoon, they come away with this year's MFHL Championship, would be their 2nd in program history. But if the Avros win, we'll get a Game 4 coming up on Tuesday night, sending this series back to Winnipeg. And then who knows after that, but as for now, gotta stay in the present. Both these teams are for sure. We're happy to have you here. It's G-Show Productions MFHL Championship Game Day for game number 3 here in a series where the Selects up 2-0 in this best-of-5 finals. It's been 2 low-scoring affairs to start things off. 2-1 for Eastman, where they were down 1-0 early in that 3rd period. In game number 1, fought back, persevered. And as for game number 2, happened on Friday night. It was the Selects who came away with, well, yet another shutout. Ended up being their 5th of the postseason. Been defensively strong. They've been doing a great job against Rio Pierre. She has that sticked away to start things off. It'll be Pierre carrying this puck in. Decides to chip it off the boards, but has it cut off right away by Blake Haas. Quickly up to Schroeder, who had a penalty shot goal to make it 2-0 in game number 2. Gets rubbed out along the boards, now taken out hard down low. No call coming up on the play. You have to expect tonight, especially with how many penalties that were called in game number 2. I have a feeling that maybe we don't see as many penalties here tonight, given that, well, one more game, one more win for the Selects, and they win this series. It's games like this usually where the whistles could either be kind of put in the pockets more so, or we could see a bunch more penalties called. Vader Rigaud loses that puck in the sticky ice here, as there's a few issues to start things off here. At the CRRC in this Game 3 championship final, it's flipped up to Turner as she caught that on her forehand quickly across to Zant. Plays it quickly up to Robin Clausen. Plays it back to Zant now off the stick of Robin. Now to Jenna Turner, who stumbles a bit trying to recover this puck. Gets to it first, but Grenier was pressuring, Delaney Rigaud along the wall. Pinned up by Carlin Zant. Robin Clausen down low to help. Callie Remillard in for support on the Selects forecheck. As for Eastman, they get this puck back into the low slot, spinning around and trying to get that on net. Danielle Hepner, or no, it was Veda or Delaney Rigaud. It's back to Veda at the point. That shot, a huge block by number 15 in Turner, able to spring number 10 in Sydney Haggard, who sends this in with a backhand just before the blue line. As Veda Rigaud on her knees, unable to get up and recover there, is turned over. Leah Clausen tried sending that on net, but blocked up. Callie Lowley able to recover down low. That pass unable to thread its way through as Nolgren was right there in the slot. 2 Selects in that area to defend Nolgren along the wall as this gets rimmed around. Now Vader Rigaud has been having some balance issues here to start off this one. Got it out with success. Turned over in the neutral zone. Now played up to Pierre is just past the blue line. Pierre has this intercepted, intended for Nolgren with the feed. Now fed back to Pierre, who this time takes it herself in past the blue line. Pierre on the backhand side takes it to the forehand, but sends it just high of the net. Looks like the net may be slightly off, and it is. That's the call from the referees. But your starting goaltenders for this afternoon's action, as mentioned, Addison Tomes and Adriana Almeida. Tomes for the Selects, Almeida for the Avros. Brought to you by Goaltenders, your goalie's personal video review service. Be sure to check them out at GordyTomlinsonGoalies.ca for more info today. Is this a foot race down into the Avros end, won by Jenna Turner? Is in the corner. Turner tries to play that up the left side, but instead disrupted. The captain for the Selects, Dixon, down to her knees, down below. There's no call on the play. Puck gets up to the point, now stripped away and sent out by Callie Lavely all the way down into the Selects end. First one on it, Isabel Carrier quickly. The sudden, as it's taken away by the Avers again. That breakout pass off the skate of Speechley ends up right back into the Avro zone. Up the left side, it's Dinez, kicks it out to Speechley. Nice move by Speechley to protect that and sending it in afterwards just before the blue line. As Dinez pins up Chloe Carrier along the boards. Gets it towards the slot, but no one home. That onto the stick of Vader Rigaud. She'll look to go for a skate now, but she gets cut off by Liberty Amy. In for support is Grenier as she flips this one into the opposite corner in the Avro zone. Oh no, look out, the gate ends up opening where the away team comes out onto the ice. So a safety hazard, gets a stoppage in play here. 15:05 remaining in the first. Hard to believe no shots yet as it's 0-0 on the scoreboard in all phases right now. But for Callie Remillard going up against Robin Clausen on this upcoming face-off. In the Arrows end to the glove hand side of Almeida. The Selects win this. We'll be interested to see if they can start to get a bit of a cycle going. But in fact, they'll have to work to get into the Avro zone if they win this draw, as it'll be Played outside instead. The refs rearranging it. It'll be won by the Selects as Reese Beavis sends us all the way in deep. First one on it will be Evie West, who's now top 5 in assists right now in the playoffs among all skaters and active skaters, as 3 Avros in the corner. About 3 Selects there as well. 2 along the boards, 1 in for support. It'll be the one in support there, and Delaney Rigaud almost gets this free to the point to Beavis. The Selects get this back, holding strong at the blue line. The Avros, though, they'll push forward. It's ahead to Wozni, challenging Beavis, trying to cut through Beavis, but a great back check and a great display of defense by Beavis to shut that down with a good stick. As it's played to the Selects blue line, Wozni tries to send that in deep, but blocked up into Callie Remelard's equipment. It's a long wall and bouncing off the boards now past the stick of Heidinger. Off the boards almost into the Avro zone. Blake Hawes tries to send that all the way in deep from her own end, but unable to get it past. Now Kennedy Carrier gets it past all the way into the Avros end. This gets dumped in as more and more folks continue to pile in here to the CRRC. Is this all the way down for an icing? But when we're talking about favorites for who could potentially be coming home with a playoff MVP, I think when you take a look at the points leaders, obviously an obvious one for the Avros, Rio Pierre with 15 points so far, but Addison Tomes, an unbelievable record, 5-0 since coming back after being injured. 3 shutouts, her most recent one on Friday, and a .983 save percentage. Absolutely fantastic so far has been Tomes. And even though both these goaltenders so far haven't faced a shot, both of these teams' offense is still trying to figure things out. These goaltenders have been an integral part of these teams' success throughout this year, especially for the Avros in these playoffs. I think even looking back into Game 2 last game and even the first period of Game 1, Addison Tomes really steering the ship in the right direction for this Select squad. And you know what else has helped is how they've been able to shut down Rio Pierre, as the captain continues to remain contained. Only 1 point on the 1 goal that the Avros have had so far here in this finals. But Pierre in again, how's that sticked away into the corner by Norman Doan. Now Heidinger comes back with the back pressure to take it away. It's taken away by the Selects and played across to Isabella Carrier, who tries to dangle through. She does want to move, but goes over the net. What an opportunity there for number 8. Would have had to add that to the highlight reel, is what confidence and what execution as she's back on it in the corner. How's that poked away by Nolgren? Now kicked up to Nolgren by number 18 in Shortridge, but that off the stick of Callie Lavalley in the neutral zone as she couldn't settle the pass down. Isabella back into the zone, trying to take this to the net, but can't shield it on the back end. That time, Liberty Amy off the boards all the way down into the Select zone. Gives chase on the other number 17 in Veda Rigo. It gets played D-to-D successfully as Chloe Carrier just tries to ram that out, but she can't. Cut off well by Cunningham. Not that time, though, as that gets all the way down past Cunningham into the Avro zone for, well, positive for the Avros. It'll be called for an icing with 12:29 remaining. Yeah, this is the most full I've felt a rink here this season at an MFHL game. Maybe it's just a bit wider up at Seven Oaks because Game 5 was pretty packed last Sunday, which is crazy. It's that not even that long ago, only a week at this point since the Avros advanced into this round. They started the finals quick, only 2 days after the Avros advance. Have to get a roll on as things got to be finished and settled to see who's going to be Manitoba's representative in the upcoming West Regional to see who qualifies for the Esso Cup. The Avros, if they're able to extend, series goes to game number 4 on Tuesday, as mentioned before. The Avros do win this game. What they've been working hard so far. It's only 1-0 in the shots, though, and that's in favor of the Selects. So it was Isabella Carrier with an opportunity Early on here is look at the wheels on number 16, and Clausen tried to bank it off the boards to herself. Blows a tire out the Eastman blue line. It's now the other number 16. Heidinger took it the other way, but how's this turned over onto Robin Clausen's stick as Clausen plays this in to the Eastman end as they go D to D. Normando plays this up by a soft piece of equipment turned over onto West stick as she gets hauled down. Is there going to be a call? No, not there this time on the play. There hasn't been this game yet. But another call that could have very well gone to one of these teams against them. The refs just letting them play, letting them get physical. That's the second shot of the game. And it belongs to the Selects as they lead in the shot category 2-0. 10:55 remains in this period, so both these teams have played some good defense so far. Not allowing any real opportunities so far as that shot from a long ways and turned aside on the ice by Almeida. The most dangerous chance was Rigo's. She just caught a piece of Almeida. She got denied minutes ago in this one. As for the Avros, they work this through to Nolgren. She has Lavely with her. Sends it to her. Lavely shut down. Rebound there. Somehow Tomes comes away with the save. Her first action of this hockey game, and she's up to the task. As a great job by the Avros, transition out of their own end with ease, hitting that pass up the middle to Adeline Nolgren, who has options with her. A wide open Callie Lavely matching her speed with her down the right side. It's kicked out to Lavely. She has a wide open chance to shoot it. Tomes takes it, but Tomes ends up making the first save, swallowing up that second opportunity for no rebound. So the Avros crashed the net. Crashed it hard. And I think for the Avros, that's really important in this game, is continue to crash the net. Be unapologetic. Like, don't care if you're going to get the business afterwards from the Selects defending their goaltenders. I mean, you don't, like, obviously you want to do it as clean as possible, but play a bit over the line, you know, crash the net hard, make this Eastman goaltender and Tomes feel uncomfortable. She's been pretty comfortable so far in this series for the most part. Here's Pierre, who gets denied. Might have just missed the net altogether, but a great chance there from number 9 as the net goes off in the process. That's another thing this Avros team is probably going to get to bank on in this game and will bank on, is just this top line finding ways to create opportunities. It's only a matter of time before they're able to break through and get some chances. But overall, like, the Eastman D, they've been hard on the Avros players on this line specifically and being really physical on Pierre. So they're physical to you, be physical back. Avros have been. Maybe we see a bit more physicality in this one as that shot wide of the net from Shortridge. Got that pass from number 8 in Lavely, who scoops it up again. Lavely gets it to the point to a wide open Turner across to Shortridge. That blocked by Grenier as it's onto the stick of Delaney Rigaud. Sends it back cross ice to Grenier as Grenier, a goal in game number 1. It ended up being the biggest goal of the game in this building. The game winner to make it 2-1 off of a deflection. Off of the shot of Vader Rigaud. That over the stick of Hawes, intended for Pierre. Beats out the icing as number 9 and gets to it first. Shields it from Normando as Pierre towards the point to Cunningham. Does that stay in? No, the referee, the linesman, putting the arm up for a delayed offside. It's the pass a bit off towards Cunningham there from Pierre. As Normando was all over. Really impressive to see that throughout this series. Speaking of number 11 for the Avros this time, Carlin Zant making some moves through the neutral zone. Finally got rubbed off the puck. Ends up back into the Eastman end as Blake Hawes on it. Sends it cross ice up to Kennedy Carey, who just passed their headline. Sends this in deep into the Avros and Almeida. Played it to a teammate. That was Cunningham. Much of Speechley, but has that stripped away. Held in at the line by the Selects. Sent off the boards. And on to Zant's stick now as Zant makes a play. And now it's on to Amy's stick. Gets cut off along the boards. by Grenier. Remains in the corner. Schroeder now joining the battle, but gets rubbed off the puck. Ends up opposite corner. And flipped out by the Avros. As given chase, Vader Rigaud. This is all the way down for an icing. With 8:23 remaining. It's crazy. This is the first time all year I've had to look on my screen on my laptop where the stream is going through to check up on the corner in the Avros end. Close corner to our broadcast angle, I guess you could call it that, because there's so many people in front of me right now. It helps to have that monitor in a way on the screen for a game like this, where the puck in that corner initially, and now along the back of boards as both teams battling away at it. Shortly off of face-off draw, it's Evie West who gets a hold of it and plays it off the boards, almost out, but sent right back in by the Selects. Sent in again deep by Delaney Rigaud this time. Almeida out of her own net. Plays this with success to West, who plays it off the boards to Amy. Amy flips this off the boards. Out of the reach of Speechley, who was the intended target. As the Selects play this back in. Grenier took a hit to make a play. It's to Rigaud. What a move by number 18 as she plays that to the net. Denied by number 35 in Almeida. It's the Selects. They've had a few chances similar to that now, where they've been able to make a beautiful move on the Avros D. Spun out into the pull, it looked like was Sydney Haggard. Right by where Ice Wave Media taking some pictures. As that play to Wozzy now. Tries to dangle through, but shut down. Gets a sick on that puck still and forces a turnover, however. It's the Avros getting it back to the point. Shortridge, that shot turned aside by Tomes. Up to the point. Turner sends that in. Rimmed around. So they'll be to Wazzy, onto her backhand, plays it across to Turner. That shot wide of the net, off the backboards. The Avros looking to pounce on what looked like a golden opportunity for a moment. Thought maybe the rebound would come out far enough for Haggard to do something dangerous with that. But instead, the sequence here ends with Almeida getting a stoppage in play, with a glove save off of a chance from number 35 and Adriana Almeida. Shot made by Delaney Rigaud. As the Selects trying to play that on net, unable to. Instead, they work it back up to the point where Normando can't get this in deep. Instead, recovers it in the neutral zone and spins and fires that in, but cut off by the Avros right away. Trying to work it up into the Select zone. Nogren gets taken out hard there. No penalty by the Avros bench. As this turned over now by Cunningham into her skate, and now to Heidinger. Tried to play that pass across, but unable to thread it through. She tried to locate number 8 in Isabella Carrier. As that on net turned aside by Tomes. As number 8 with Lavalley, who has had a pretty strong period for herself, has created a lot offensively. With 5:40 remaining, Lavalley back on it as Lavalley sends this in deep, gives a two-hander into the back of Heidinger. As Lavalley goes off for a change. As this played off the boards. Up to Carey. Isabella Carey turns that over to Dinez. Dinez plays this back to number 16. And Leah Clausen, who has this turned over, bumped off the puck. Now number 10 in Chloe Carrier. Sticked in by number 9, Rio Pierre, as the Selects get this back. Up to Carrier. Carrier flips this in. It'll be cross ice all the way in to the Avros end. On 5 minutes left in this period. Pierre sends this up to Speechley. Has Amy with her. Speechley gets through, but can't catch up to that puck. Couldn't get a handle on it. Amy at the doorstep. Unable to send that on net. The net goes off instead. As the Avros continuing to get dangerous looks in this one. 4:49 remaining. They're now up to 5 shots, 5-3 the shots in favor of Winnipeg. It's a nice play by Ella Speechley. Both teams having a bit of success slicing through the other's defense on one-on-one chances. It wasn't the prettiest way that Speechley got past, but fights her way through. Somehow that stick, like a string on her stick. Keeping it attached, keeping it controlled. The string breaks at the end as she just loses the handle on it for a shot attempt in tight on number 34 in Tomes. But a nice job by Speechley afterwards, too, to get it right back and send a pass onto the stick of Amy, where she's unable to bury around the net. Feeling like that's been a bit of a difference for this Avros team throughout this series compared to the Selects, as the Selects have just seemed to get a few more bounces going their way, where the Avros, well, they've had to work a bit more throughout this series to get their opportunities and just not getting that puck luck needed right now to have success in a series like this. As it's kicked through by Robin Clausen. Clausen has that poked away, but it'll be Haggard on it. It's Haggard along the boards. Lost that puck. It got poked up to Wozniak. She unloads that shot into the glove of number 34 in Tomes. So another face-off draw coming up inside the Selects end. That draw won by Eastman, but hard on it right away. Lavely forces the turnover on the forecheck. It's Nolgren along the boards to Lavely. Quickly over to Pierre as Pierre brings it into the corner now. It's Hawes who sticks with her. In for some good support though along wall as Nolgren gets it back to the point to Cunningham. As Cunningham off the boards quickly down low to Lavely, who also has Pierre there as it gets to Pierre. Up top to Nolgren, only goal scorer for the Avros in this series. How's that poked away as the Avros have to regroup in the neutral zone? They do just that. Selects fans calling for an offside but not getting it. Instead the Selects fire this out. Cut off right away along the wall by Carlin Zent. So it'll be Eastman back on it. Off the boards, D to Chloe Carey. Off the boards, she goes up the right side to Sophia Heidinger just before the blue line sends this in deep. She heads off for a change. As Isabel Carrier remains out there. Stick check. Kind of forces a turnover there as the Selects hold this into the slot as Carrier was heading there, but covered up a bit too well. It's Rio Pierre now. Sticked away twice as that puck off her stick. She tried to make it into the Select zone. She goes off for a change. So Selects look to bank this out, and they do. Isabel Carrier still out there. Stickson and Schroeder along with her. 2:33 remaining left on this first period clock. Evie West, a pass connected onto the stick of Sydney Haggard. Abby Dixon, Isabel Carrier go off for a change now as the Avros work this out, looking to take advantage of this line change, but that long shot turned aside by Tomes settles things down right away. 2:15 remaining. This first period brought to you by Ken Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia. Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Be sure to check them out today for more details at KenCentralSportsCards.com, as well as their one store location in the city of Winnipeg at 995 Miltsiegel Drive. As in the corner, a battle currently going on. Amy Speechley trying to dig this puck out. They do just that. It'll be the Selects who get it now. Beavis ends up losing this puck behind her. Dinez cuts her off. It's a delayed offside. Avros able to go right back in as they clear the zone right away off the boards into the feet of Grenier on that attempt of a first breakout pass. This is along the boards right below where the Eastman bench is there as it's over to Delaney Rigaud. Callie Remillard looked like maybe she was just a bit offside there, but doesn't matter. Avros able to get it out right away. The minute 19 remaining as Blake Hazu makes some moves to the neutral zone. Now into the Avros, and that shot blocked on the way toward its destination. Out of play, off course with 1:11 remaining. With an offensive zone face-off draw for the Selects this time. Shots 8-3 in favor of the Winnipeg Avros. Felt like the third period last game was, I'd say, the Avros' best period of this final so far, even though they didn't have a goal out of it. Just the pressure they played with and the urgency. They've been getting a lot of good looks on the rush here tonight, or this afternoon. You know, the zone play has also been not too bad from them as well. And defensively, holding this Selects team to their lowest shot total so far of a period. As we'll see if the Avros can finish here with a goal. Pierre gets hauled down, no call on the play. It's flipped in now by the Selects team past the red line. Tepner goes off for a change. Dixon on the forecheck looked to force a mistake, but getting none. Now mistake forced at the blue line by Schroeder with 20 seconds remaining now in this period. Giving chase is number 3 and forcing the Avros to circle back and go D to D. Now they play it up the wall for number 8 and Lavely, as Lavely got this into the neutral zone. Is being shoveled away along the boards by Isabelle Carrier. Another teammate in there and a few Avros. That takes us to our first intermission as we're scoreless here. This period, in many ways, belonging to the Avros. 8-3 in the shot category. Had some really good looks. Just unable to quite beat Addison Tomes. But if you're the Avros, you got to be extremely happy with how this period worked out. Like I said, you got some good looks off the rush. You're able to do some good things, working the puck around on the cycle, and you were able to hold the Selects team off of the shot board a lot of times throughout that first period. Only 3 shots for Eastman, as mentioned. And doing a good job, I felt, getting into shot lanes. Usually when the Avros have had success in the defensive zone, not the case. And, you know, not really breaking down as this game has gone along, as we've seen that against this Eastman forecheck. They can break a lot of teams, and have against this Avros team so far here in this postseason. Eastman wouldn't say that their period was necessarily bad by any means, but would like to see a higher level coming up here next, as we'll get to the first intermission content. We'll show you our commercial from Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia as well. We're going to take a bit of a break. We'll be back here for Game 3 of the MFHL 2025 Championships, live on your home for MFHL Hockey on G-Show Productions on gshow.ca. It's a scoreless game. Deja vu to game number 1, where it was scoreless after period 1 as well. What does period 2 bring here in Niverville on this Sunday afternoon? Well, we'll find out very shortly, coming up here on MFHL Championship Playoff Game Day. Scoreless between the Avros and the Selects.
Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia offers the widest selection of sports cards and signed memorabilia in the city. For dedicated casual and new collectors, Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia has everything a collector could ask for. Everything we sell is stored with care, and with help from our knowledgeable team, we'll help you find exactly what you're looking for. We carry Upper Deck hockey card brands like Series 1 and 2, the Cup, Ultimate, SPA, and plenty more. So what are you waiting for? Come down to Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store.
And welcome back into the CRRC in Niverville, Manitoba, as the Eastman Selects and Winnipeg Avros tied scoreless after the first 20 minutes of action. 8-3 the shots in favor of the visitors in the Winnipeg Avros, where they've still been unable to open up with a lead in this series. Of course, shut out in game number 2 on Friday night back in Winnipeg, which has led to the series being in favor of the Eastman Selects 2-0, a chance to finish off things this afternoon and close things out to claim their second championship in program history, as we'll take a look at the bracket once again. 2-0 for the Selects, 8-0 to this point in the playoffs, as they added a fifth shutout on Friday night, been defensively sound all season long. I mean, more than that, defensive excellence, if there's even a word higher than that. I mean, it's just been historic from Eastman this year. 13 shutouts in the regular season combined between their two goaltenders in Addison Tomes and Isabelle Labossiere, and 5 so far in the playoffs to make a combined 18. And they've been the only team to truly shut down this Avros squad this season consistently, on a consistent basis. They shut them out twice in the regular season, won 3-1 in the regular season series against this Avros squad, and ended up, finishing a few points above them, and for first place to get the first seed in the regular season. So they've kind of been, besides the Winnipeg Ice, the Winnipeg Avros' biggest thorn in their side this year. And they continue to try to search for ways to get on the scoreboard here, as they had some quality chances in period number 1 out of those 8 chances. But Addison Tomes actually has been pretty much all season long, and for all these playoffs, is up to the task to make the save, as Tomes leads her Selects back out onto the ice. This is period number 2 coming up. Period 1 was brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Be sure to check out their website at cancentralsportscards.com, as well as their store location at 995 Miltz Drive. As for this period, it's brought to you by Terrico, serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry. Be sure to check out their website for more details at terrico.ca. This period's also brought to you by Goaltenders, your goalie's personal video review service. Be sure to check them out for more details at gordontumbletongoalies.ca today. As for the Winnipeg Avros, Ashley Van Aglen has to be happy with that past period of how her team played defensively. Only giving up 3 shots in that period, and none of them really high danger at all. As for Eastman, you could argue it's their toughest game of the playoffs up until this point. Just what's at stake, right? A chance to close this thing out in a sweep for a championship. You're going up against an Avros team that they're not going to back down without a fight. So, there's pressure on you already to close this thing out in front of let's say, packed house. I'd say it almost looks sold out, to be honest with you. Not many seats left available. But playing in front of that environment, going up against a team that really wants it in the Winnipeg Avros, even though they may fall short here, they're going to try their very best, and they brought a lot of good stuff in that first period of action. Can they continue it in this second period as we're officially underway? Puck taken away by Rio Pierre, backhanded up to Adeline Nolgren as she plays that up off the wall. It's Lavely, her shot turned aside by Tomes as number 8 continues to impress here with the chances she's had even into the second period early on. Just over 30 seconds in as Adeline Nolgren, that gets past the former Select all the way down to the Select's end. Normano, first one on it, shields this puck away from Pierre and sends it up the left side as it rolls off the stick of Maya Grenier. The Select's looking to stretch the neutral zone. The Avros try to do the same thing there, but puck gets past the stick of Kelsey Dinez as the Select's counter now. It's Callie Remillard leading this attack and drops it to Grenier, blocking aside by Almeida. High in the air, that rebound. Sits to safety, picked up by the Avros. Ellis Speechley, good forecheck from the Select squad. Out in front, side of the net, danger as Delaney Rigaud looks to get the cycle going. Over to Callie Remillard. That shot almost through Almeida and in, but instead just catches a piece of that right post. We continue on. Scoreless here, icing called on the play. A bit of confusion at the Select's bench there for a moment. But talking about the Select's forecheck coming to life there behind the net, it's a great job by Delaney Rigaud to cut off that line from the Avros defense to try to find an entry to break things out. Gets that puck to Remillard, who gets it back to, or walks out in front. Denied, and then Rigaud out in front. Denied again, puck almost squirts past Almeida for this game to have it scoring open. So Selects have been able to do it twice so far in this finals. As that into the slot through Scott Cook to Rigaud at the point is Veda denied by Almeida. Number 35, a lot busier to start things off here compared to the first period of action. Already more shots in this period through 2 minutes and 11 seconds for this Selects team, as they're at 4 so far. They only had 3 throughout the first 20 minutes. It's 1 up to Reese Beavis. Beavis tried to get that to Heidinger, but cut off along the boards by the Avros. The Avros now try to work this out off the boards, but held in by Lexi Remillard. Scott Cook to the slot. That pass just hops over the stick of Hepner. It's down low, tipped to Heidinger, spins to Hepner. That shot wide of the net. She took that feed from 16 and almost banked in on it. Or cashed in on it, as I should say. So down low, Heidinger has that taken away off her stick by number 15 and Jenna Turner. Turner now feeds that up to Pierre, gets that up to Amy with one hand. As Amy, that shot scores! The transition game proven effective there for the Avros. It starts with Jenna Turner in the defensive zone, making a nice move before making a breakout pass up to Pierre. Pierre one-hands that well enough to get onto the stick of Amy, and Amy does the rest upon entry, cuts to the middle, fires that up high past Holmes to break her shutout streak. It was over 70 minutes from the last game to this one. Over 80 minutes since Holmes had allowed a goal. So my math was a bit off. As that goal brought to you by Terrico for this Avros team. How do they keep things up now? As they're looking to stay alive in this series with a win this afternoon and to send it to Game 4, which will be played in Winnipeg on Tuesday night. A lot of work left to do, though. 16:37 remains That goal brought to you by Terrico, as mentioned, serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry. Adeline Nolgren to take the draw for the Avros now. Offensive zone, one-timer there from Pierre into the corner. It missed. This just spanked out by the Select squad. But a good start to this period. Schroeder gets taken down. No call on the play. The refs still have yet to call a penalty in this one, as Normando sends this in deep. Delaney Rigaud just cleared the line and able to make it in again legally as she has that stick way down low. Penalty coming up here. As who's it going to be to? I believe the Selects. 2 minutes for a slash. And for that to be the first call of the game, pretty surprising in terms of some of the stuff they've let go. So they'll send the Avros on to the first power play of the afternoon. Delaney Rigaud on the forecheck ends up taking that stick out of the hands of an Avro player. But honestly, it's an old term that gets used in terms of grip your stick tighter in an instance like that. If it doesn't break, then it means you weren't holding on to it tight enough. But the ref's calling it. 15:59 remaining in this period. This power play brought to you by goaltenders for the penalty kill for this Selects team, as this Avros squad works this down low. It'll be to Adeline Nolgren, but cut off now by Veda Rigaud. Sends this all the way in deep. So it'll be scooped up by the captain for the Avros, and Evie West, who sauces this cross ice out of the reach of Leah Clausen, sent back all the way down into the Avro zone as West Mohawks down low, takes it behind her own net and now skates up again through the Avros end, makes a nice move. Another one upon entry into the neutral zone. Now into the Selects end as she pulls back to shoot but hesitates, looking to work some puck movement instead. Puck control on the outside, works a D-to-D to Leah Clausen. That shot tipped wide of the net. It's a few Avros in the lane. Is this down low, tangled up. Lavely trying to hold it in. Evie West unable to as it's cleared out by the Select squad. 54 seconds remaining. Pierre tries to make a move through a Select in the neutral zone, but shut down. Now it's on to Dinez's stick as she makes a move through. Dipsy Doodle, and Dinez kicks this out wide. Is out of the reach of the goal scorer, and Liberty Amy now attempted to be whacked out by the Select squad, and ends up being out hard enough for Rio Pierre to be forced to regroup, which she does. Spun in the neutral zone, Liberty Amy off the boards, now up to Grenier as Grenier gets another stick on that as Evie West tried to play that pass up through the neutral zone. So West decides to take it for a skate now, being hounded on hard there by Scott Cook, but great control, rebound there. Tomes somehow keeps it out. Another save from Tomes. What a save from the Eastman Tendy, as that could be positive momentum coming in Eastman's favor after what was big time stops from number 34 in the dying seconds of that Avros power play that, to be quite honest with you, didn't have that much danger for those last three shots. As that all the way down into the Selects end, Tomes covers it up. .41 remaining in this period of action. It's Robin Clausen in on the draw for the Avros, loses it to Scott Cook. Scott Cook now tied for the playoff lead in assists along with teammate Callie Remillard. Yellowhead chief forward and Jordan Veach as this play towards the Selects net, cut off well by the Selects. This is taken up by Heidinger, looks to go one-on-one with Shortridge, has Hawes head into the net as she activates up into the play. Hawes plays that pass to the net in front, but not there for Scott Cook. She goes off for a line change now, back towards the Selects end. All they can do sent it right back into the Avros end as Jenna Turner skated up with that puck before sending it off the boards. Stretch pass up off of Hepner's stick, catches up to it, has Heidinger and Schroeder with her. Hepner stops up, looks to shoot, loses a handle on it, now tied up by an Avro. Opportunity out the window there for the Selects team. They look to get a cycle going at the very least as Heidinger gets it to the slot. Vaderigo tries to find it in the feed of Haggard, but Haggard sends it out off the boards instead. Kennedy Carrier, first one on it. Let's go Avros cheer being started now is blowing a tire. Chloe Carrier along the wall in the Selects end. Avros send that in deep. Amy tries a behind the back pass, but denied as it didn't get off. Carlin Zant holds the line there, gets it down deep. Amy slew past the puck, but couldn't get a stick on it. As Dinez holds the line well, sends this in deep. As Amy, Speechley, and Dinez remain out there, the Avros get a fresh set of legs out defensively. As that's denied, stopped up by Carlin Zant at the red line. As Speechley circles back in her own end and fires it to Zant. Up off the stick of Dinez now. As Zant goes off for number 16 and Leah Clausen. Cutting it off along the wall. Ella Speechley. Just to hold this in at the blue line. It's along the wall now in the Eastman end as both teams trying to pick away at this to get possession of it. Will that puck get free? It does. Loose now to Amy. Backhand on net. No, just wide of it. As Addison Tomes ready to make the save, wasn't forced to that time around. Amy down low, that pass out in front onto the glove of the Select player. No hand pass called here on the play as the Selects work this out. 2-on-1 developing. Grenier and Delaney Rigaud. Nice defensive play though by West, helping out her goaltender in Almeida. So the Avros look to transition up the other way now. Up the right side to Nolgren off of the pass from Lavely. Nolgren spins that pass towards the net, cut off by Callie Remillard to Delaney Rigaud again. Cross-ice pass fails, but ends up finally onto the stick of Callie Remillard, who sends that in deep. Rigaud giving chase. Abro gets to it first, plays it off the glass, but intercepted. Too many girls called, and that'll send the Avros to another power play. One of their assistant coaches can't believe it. So it looked like Delaney Rigaud was going to have an opportunity to get a shot on net, but instead, the refs blow it down right away. 6 called on the ice for the Selects. Count them up if you want to. We'll see who ends up serving this penalty. So I believe it may be Maya Grenier. It will be. Sends the Avros onto the power play, which it will be brought to you by Terrico this time around. A chance for the Avros to extend this lead to 2 here. Do it as quickly as you can. Put pressure on the Selects team. That's back to Zant. That shot turned aside by Tomes. This is down low in the corner now for Nolgren. She gets rubbed out along the boards. Normando battling with both Lavely and Nolgren. It gets to Lavely now, who plays this back down low to Nolgren. Spins away from the Selects check-in as Nolgren up to the point to Rio Pierre. Pierre dishes off to Shortridge. That shot wide of the net, but had some height on it, so it's rising on its way towards the goal. That a great defensive play by Heidinger, but nice job by Shortridge keeping that in. Blast at the point, blocked on the way through. Nolgren over to, I believe, Zant. Gets that over to Pierre. Pierre, what a move at the blue line. Past Hepner, backhand towards the goal. Blocked up by the Selects. And now onto the stick of Heidinger. Pierre on the back check forced Heidinger to just send that in deep as she was looking to challenge Shortridge one-on-one. Goes off for a change after the dump in instead. Liberty Amy tries to get this puck back off of Vader Rigaud instead. Rigaud gets the last lap, gets this on her stick, and all the way down into the Avros end as Almeida leaves that for Leah Clausen. Clausen, pass to Pierre as Pierre builds up some speed before sending the pass onto the stick of Shortridge. Shortridge dangles at the blue line. Avros stay on side. Over to Pierre again with that pass off 9 stick. Vader Rigaud contesting Liberty Amy hard into the boards as Amy continues to battle to get free from Rigo. That puck unable to be sent out, held in by Shortridge. That shot unable to get through the traffic. Shot in tight, turned aside by Tome. Shortridge still holds this in. The Avros legal changes. It's on the Speechley stick. 10 seconds remain on this power play. This is to Leah Clausen. Held on the outside as West circles back in the neutral zone to defend. Grenier, who comes out of the box now. 5-on-5. So we're back to even strength. The Selects, the pretty good kill there, kept the Avros into low danger areas of the ice. West, that long shot turned aside, kicked out by Tomes that time. So Selects try to work this out, but instead can't connect that past the neutral zone. Turned over Speechley. What a move from number 4. That shot just catches a piece of Tomes as number 34 makes a great save. 19 and Wozni down low. Still maintains possession of this puck. Backhand up top, gets this to Cunningham. Back to Wozni. Dangle to the middle. Can't get that backhand shot away as she had her pocket picked. Delaney Rigaud scoops up this puck now. As Rigaud being hounded on there by Robin Clausen, but somehow 18 still holds on to this puck below the goal line along the end boards. Has that sticked away now by Robin Clausen, sent all the way out by the Avros. Eastman has to regroup as Heidinger ends up losing her glove, goes off for a change right away. So it's Hepner who changes onto the ice for number 16. Gets her glove back right away too as Heidinger. Expect for her to be out right away again. So the Avros look to work this out off the boards, unable to. Pass cut off, but a nice defensive play by Wozni at the blue line, getting in the grill of the Selects as their defense had no choice but to just send that in afterwards after she was able to take it out. With that pressure is Robin Clausen. That pass fails cross ice, up ice. It ends up back to West now. That pass just over the stick of Haggard all the way down for an icing. So with 6:44 remaining. .6:44 remaining in this second, 1-0 Avros lead. You're watching MFHL Playoff Game Day Championship Edition on your home for MFHL Hockey on gshow Productions on gshow.ca. As the Avros up 1-0, big time too, as they look to beat out this ice, and Haggard does just that. Pass number 11, and Normando is pinned up along the boards as Haggard now. It's taken away by the Selects. Worked out into the neutral zone, but bobbles off a few Avros sticks. Now turned over again. The captain, Abby Dixon, makes her way in. Drops this to Delaney Rigaud, denied by number 35 in Almeida. There's another face-off inside the Avros end. Their top line out right now. It'll be Remillard, Kelly that is centering, flanked by Grenier and Delaney Rigaud on the wings. As Vader Rigaud holds this in at the point. That dump-in attempt can't get deep enough. As for Heidinger, gets that free up to Vader Rigaud, over to Chloe Remillard. That shot, turned aside, another chance. Sorry, it was Chloe Carrier who took the shot. A great job there by the Avros to survive that swarm. This rebound was there. Selects couldn't take advantage of it. Icing we called here on this one. With that great sequence, we bring goaltenders back onto the screen. 15-10 now, the shots in favor of the Avros side. Pierre to take the draw against Callie Remillard. It'll be won by the Select squad as it's backhanded down deep, now sent out by Turner. Is given chase. Rio Pierre trying to get a step on the Selects D, and that's exactly what she does. Takes this away off the stick. I believe number 9 there in Maya Grenier. Penalty coming up. This time it'll be to the Avros. 2 minutes head contact. It'll be Adeline Nolgren going to the box. Brings on Terrico, and for the first time tonight, it's the Selects on the power play. A big one, so they could tie this game back up again. So it's 0-0 after the first period of action. But since then, it was the Avros who have jumped up to a 1-0 lead. Their first lead since game 1 of this series, when they went up 1-0 in that third period. As this controlled well by the Selects, tipped in the bumper, but out of play into the mesh off of Heidinger's stick. As instructions coming in from the Eastman bench of how they want their players to attack it here. Scott Cook takes the draw against Speechley, wins this to Vaderigo as Vaderigo settles it down, looks, surveys her options, passes this off to Hepner. That shot through a screen, that rebound loose, but behind the goal line near the end boards. As the Avros can't quite work it out yet. As Chloe Carrier gets it right back at the top of the point. That shot turned aside by the paddle, this time by Almeida, as Hepner has that knocked off her stick all the way down. And stopped up by Tomes. The Selects. Thought they were calling out the 50-50 numbers there, saying cars that may get towed. Might have to check in on that, MFHL fans, in these next 10 minutes. I believe we parked illegally here at the Niverville Rec Center. Off the backboards, the back glass. It's the net off. Selects unable to capitalize. So that draw won by this Winnipeg Avros side. Solid kill for this Avros group. They had a few dump-ins in there and another one coming there. As we are back to even strength in this hockey game. A huge kill for Winnipeg. As for the Selects, they send this right back into the Avros zone, right back into the neutral zone. It will be sent in deep now onto the Avros goal, turned aside by Almeida. Plays this to safety, number 15, and Turner, she gets spun down, no call on the play. As Delaney Rigaud also spun out there behind the Avros goal, trying to get in on the forecheck. Schroeder in on the forecheck along a wall. Delaney Rigaud comes in to join to help. As Isabella Carey also there, acting as forward 3. Avros able to beat that forecheck from the Selects team this time around. Taken away right again in the neutral zone. Great effort to get on side by Delaney Rigaud. Allows for Isabella Carey to take that shot, turned aside by Almeida with 2:18 remaining. Now the Selects try to take that to the net. The Avros deny as Pierre's cross-ice feed off the stick. It ends up to Nolgren eventually, but off the stick initially of a Select in the neutral zone there. Pierre now rubbed out along the boards down low, but recovers, gets this back, blocked up into her equipment as she holds it in on the backhand. Off of the boards, turned over. So it ends up back into the neutral zone. Carlin Zent. It's up off the boards to Haggard, who sends this in deep with 1:41 remaining. The second period of action. Game 1-0 in favor of the Avros. That a bit of a bad break there, but able to recover right away is Zent. First one on the puck after that pass missed at the point for this Avros team. The Avros send this in deep now as Winnipeg gets in on the attack. It's Wozni in on Scott Cook, hounding her as the power now looks like it's going out. Maybe just lights here at the Niverville Rec Center. So we got a bit spooky down here at the CRRC. We got officials down here too, trying to figure out why these lights turned off. So with that, 1:08 remains in this period. As there we go with the lights back on. We'll resume into play here shortly. Don't realize how bright Serena is actually until they come back on again. That really brightened the place up. Wow. So yeah, absolutely no daylight coming through from any windows in here. So a big save made by Tomes. Number 34 makes what's her 15th save of the afternoon to this point. Select. Here we go again. It's like a joke that's being played right now here. The CRRC. It's funny too. Song playing in the background, talking about the lights on and all that, and has found it fitting. As the lights come back on, we got another face-off draw. As will they stay on for a bit longer than about 10 seconds this time around? We're into the final minute of play of this second period of action. The Avros looking to extend their lead, but more importantly, hold it at 1-0 heading into this next intermission as that shot ends up out of play, wide of the net. So another face-off draw coming up inside of the Selects end. We're going to have a great third period coming up. I mean, expect for this Selects team to push hard coming up. I'm going to be interested to see what the response from this Avros squad will be for their next 20 minutes. How safe will they play it? How many risks will they take? Only up 1-0 here. They'd love to extend that lead to 2 late in this frame. 30 seconds remaining. Speechley made a strong move to get down. That pass ended up almost towards the point, held in by the Avros. 21 seconds remain. They control this up to the point to Evie West. Teammate Cullen instead. She shoots, but blocked. To Dinez. It was Leah Clausen who was calling for that pass. Her D partner gets past Clausen now. It's Grenier. That shot denied. Rebound smothered by Almeida. Net off as well. 5 seconds remain. Almeida square to that shot all the way. The Avros on the rush defense, really good at letting their goaltender just focus on taking the shooter as we saw there. I mean, we saw the Selects try a backdoor pass earlier on in this frame, shut down by Evie West as she stretched out, made the block of that pass through with her stick. And with that, Winnipeg Avros, Liberty Amy, in what could be the final game of her MFHL career as she's a grade 12. Doesn't want to quite end yet. Doing her best to keep this season alive for Avros squad. As they're up 1-0 after the first 40 minutes. We got the next 20 coming up next. Both these teams will go off for a much-needed rest, a much-needed break for them to get ready for what should be, well, maybe the most entertaining 20 minutes of the season coming up. As the Avros look to stay alive and to extend this series to game number 4 on Tuesday night. The Selects looking to end it here in a similar position to game number 1 where they were down 1-0. Instead, this time around, heading into the final period of action, into the final intermission. We'll see what type of response they got coming up next. As mentioned, we'll see what the Avros can do to either extend their lead or hold on to this one and drag this series back to Winnipeg. We'll be back here at the CRRC soon. This second period brought to you by Terrico, serving Manitoba producers for over 80 years in the agricultural industry, as well as Goaltenders, your goalie's personal video review service. Amy, the goal scorer, Selects down with 1 period to go. Avros up with 1 period to go. And what they're hoping isn't their final 20 minutes of the season, hoping to still be standing after this one, down 2-0 in this best-of-5 championship round.
Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools in Brandon takes pride in selling the tools farmers and tradespeople rely on. Like our Winnipeg location, Brandon carries the same tools you know and love. From all the brands you can trust, all in one convenient place. And with unbeatable service, we'll make sure you get the right tools to get the job done. Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools in Brandon, proud to serve Brandon's industrial needs since 2018. Stop on by today at 358 Park Avenue East. Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools has been the place to shop for your industrial needs for over 20 years. Carrying the tools you need to get the job done from the brands you can trust, Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools has you covered. Brands like Milwaukee Tool, established in 1924 and on display in our Milwaukee Red Zone, the largest red zone in Winnipeg. With construction workers and tradespeople in mind, Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools is your one-stop shop for all your industrial needs. So come on down to our Winnipeg store location today, located on 1557 King Edward Street in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
And welcome back into MFHL Championship Playoff Game Day here on G-Show Productions, your home for MFHL hockey on gshow.ca. This upcoming period will be brought to you by Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools, Manitoba's home for all your industrial needs, your one-stop shop for all your industrial needs, with store locations in Brandon and in Winnipeg. Be sure to check them out today, as well as checking out their website at mccanfasteners.shop. 1-0 in favor of the Winnipeg Avros. It was Liberty Amy who ended up scoring the lone goal for Winnipeg, cutting to the high slot in the select zone and beating Tome's high blocker side. Assists go to Jenna Turner and Rio Pierre with the primary assist. That play starting from a strong play in the Avros end from Turner, and in a game where I'd say the best the Avros have played all series long. Not just because they're up 1-0, that's a big bonus and much needed for them at this point, as they've only had one lead against the Selects, and that came back in game number 1 last Tuesday. So the fact that you're not only leading on the scoreboard but have outshot the Selects in back-to-back periods, I think is a great sign for an Avros team that needed to bring their best here this afternoon, and they have here so far. But will it be enough for them to sustain into this next period of action? As we take a look at the shots from the most recent period of play. As the Winnipeg Avros still haven't made their way back out onto the ice. Now they do. Their fans out in full force here at the CRRC, showing their support in the red and white, supporting the girls in red and black, with a bit of white in their jerseys too this afternoon for the Avros. Yeah, as for that period, it was actually even in the shot category at 10 apiece. But still, regardless, felt like the Avros so far throughout these first 40 minutes have done a good job at making it tough on Eastman to really get any type of chances that, you know, they're used to getting with ease. It's been them having to work a bit more in the offensive zone to get their chances, to get into the slot area, to get shots off. The Avros have been doing a great job of getting bodies in the lanes and blocking shots, and for this top line, and of course Liberty Amy, been stepping up their game to counter the Eastman Selects attack here tonight. Or this afternoon, as I should say. Will it be enough to carry forward into this third period of action? As mentioned, well, we'll have to wait and see to find out. This period brought to you by Mick-Hand Fasteners and Tools. Beavis off the boards all the way out. Is on at first, number 12, and Adeline Nolgren for this Avros side as they try to break it out. Nice move from Pierre Silky upon exit. Or found her getting out of her own end. Is that going to be a penalty drawn as well? But a good chance created on net by Adeline Nolgren. Ends up having Pierre go to the box, though, is out in front. Takes the penalty right after that chance. Was created on Nolgren, by Nolgren, sorry, on the Selects net. So Ashley Van Aglen wants an explanation right now. But don't know if she's going to get one. She will. So we go to an Eastman power play. But for this Select squad, looking to get back even in this game coming up on a power play that has come through for them before on this series, notably dating back to Game 1 on Tuesday, where the game-winning goal came on the power play, deflected home by Maya Grenier. As Grenier out there right now, along with the one who got the shot to her stick that she tipped home, and Veda Rigaud as Rigaud works this to Chloe Carrier on this power play brought to you by Mick-Hand Fasteners and Tools. High shot just misses Almeida's glove from Veda Rigaud. As rubbed out along the boards, Grenier, but picked up by Chloe Carrier. Good support from number 10 at the point. It's a Veda Rigaud backdoor! That's sent to the opposite backdoor afterwards, but denied off of a creative opportunity, a creative look there from this Select squad as they work it back up top to the point. Veda Rigaud, her shot turned aside by Almeida, out aggressive to make that second stop from her own crease. As number 35 cuts down the angle well. A face-off setup. It's actually a 4-minute penalty here to Rio Pierre, which I do not really understand. We'll see if we can get an update in the live scoring here on the website. So this, a potential significant moment in this game, really significant moment, maybe the most significant moment so far. As Veda Rigaud back again at the point, turned aside by Almeida, long range shot, had to fight through to see that in some traffic. As Heidinger has that poked away, picked up by Scott Cook. She's pinned up along the boards well by Cunningham as Heidinger in, trying to get this loose, trying to help out her teammate in Scott Cook, but it's the Avros who get this back and get this out all the way down. This sent into the Select zone as Veda Rigaud walks through the neutral zone, dishes this out to Heidinger as Heidinger spins away from the check-in, gets this puck over to Hepner as Hepner now circles around in the Avros zone. Pass over to Rigaud, to Normando, back to Veda Rigaud now. Passed over to Hepner, who fans on that 1T look from that left face-off circle. Hepner gets this back to the point now to Veda Rigaud, back to Hepner. Tries to shoot that on net, but instead gets taken out. No penalty call on the play there from the referees. So it's sent all the way back down into the Eastman end Under 2 minutes remaining on the girl advantage now, as they've had some great looks, just haven't been able to capitalize. Hepner has to spin away from the check-in from along the wall. It'll be Dixon who gets it now, to Isabel Carrier, not Hepner, as it's back to the line now for Hawes. Hawes has to make a move on Nolgren to protect this, gets it over to Carrier. That quick pass across, cut off by number 12 in Nolgren, and sent all the way down to the select zone. As Blake Hawes, cross ice to Schroeder, sent cross ice to Normando, receives this off the boards as she skates down the right side. Tried to send that towards the net, but blocked up. Into the slot, no one home. Ends up to the point, Beavis. Kicks it out to Dixon. Dixon looking for options up ice. Goes back up top to Beavis. That shot, rebound there. Dixon swarming. Shot on net, turned aside by Almeida. As Schroeder gets taken down hard. No penalty below the goal line. The Eastman Selects crowd furious, not happy about that non-call. As we play on, Beavis turned aside by Almeida. Huge cheer from the Avros crowd. It's to the point, rides up the stick of Beavis. She controls it again though. 25 seconds remain. Beavis, give and go with Schroeder. Now across, Delaney Rigaud turned aside, rebound there, turned aside by Almeida again. Rigaud swarms on it, penalty drawn. And who will it be to? I believe it will be to the Selects, right? Since Beavis touches that puck up and they call it right away. This Caitlin Schroeder going to the box. And no, Evie West going instead as the lights go off again here at the CRC. What is happening? I don't understand it. Our Wi-Fi is still good. Still got power in general. It's just specific sets of lights that are going out. So the mystery continues here down in rural Manitoba. Thank you for joining us if you are. On the Sunday afternoon, I know that the Winnipeg Jets are in action. But if you're here watching this game instead, or been tuning into this one, to see if we're going to have a new champion crowned in the MFHL this afternoon, as Eastman a win away now from winning what would be their second championship in their program's history. The Avros looking to avoid that possibility with a win to extend this series to a Game 4 to take it back to Winnipeg, as it looks like we'll be getting the lights fully back on here, as it's a guessing game right now. Almost feels like someone's playing a prank on us over here at the CRC. But we are back to play. A bit darker in this arena right now, but that's okay. The ice surface lit enough, as it ended up being a coincidental on what we thought was a penalty that was coming up. The Avros with a huge kill. So we're back to even strength. 1-0 it remains. For the Avros side is trying to make it 2. Deny there. In front. As there's been a goaltending change too for this Eastman Select side. It's Labossiere who's into the net. It's interesting to get a status report on Addison Tomes. Of course, why she ended up being out of this game. The status report on her right now is she got pulled out of this game. Can't confirm if it's injury or not. Could see that being the case. Maybe something got aggravated. And of course, they're down in this one. They know any of their goaltenders, whether it's Carrier or Tomes, gives them a great chance to win. Labossiere and Tomes gives them a great chance to win. As Labossiere, could make an argument. I made it on my podcast that she was goaltender of the year this year, just simply for the amount of games that she played and the amount of wins that she had. Also having the shutout she had in there with Tomes being unavailable to play. And Labossiere held it down through the first 2 games of the postseason too. Labossiere was, perfect, as there were 3 shutouts in that first round for the Selects in their first round sweep. Labossiere in a bit of a different situation right now, as her team down. Hasn't happened much in the playoffs. And coming into a situation where he hasn't had a chance to warm up since before the game. As the Selects look to help her out in front by bringing home a goal, as they're still scoreless here. The Avros now tied in the shots at 19 apiece with the Select side. 13:06 remain. As for this Winnipeg Avros side, they're able to break it out now. Quick pass up to Speechley, gets this into the Select zone as she tries to get it back. The Selects take this back away now into the Avros zone. Down the right side, number 4 and Dixon puts on the brakes, down low, draw pass blocked off of the shot. Remillard now shot wide of the net. I believe it caught a piece of something on the way through, as this sent right back out, back into the Eastman end. Pass into the neutral ice, onto Kennedy Carrier's stick. Nice cutback move into the middle. Sent a pass up to Remillard. Tries to drop that back, and she does. Ends up to Lexi Remillard, but Lexi Remillard was converged on all the way, and for the Avros, it forces a turnover for them. Pierre gets denied, tried to pull that back, take a shot, but instead met the stick of an Eastman Selects defenseman. As for Beavis, off the boards, rims this around. He gets this to Hepner, spins around, fires this to Delaney Rigaud, as Rigaud tries to dangle her way through, and she does, gets past Leah Clausen to the net, denied by Almeida. It's number 35. Denies her at that left post. As for the Selects, another shot, this time off the head of Almeida. Uses her head well that time to make a key save. As for the Avros, searching for ways to get out of their own end right now. Held in at the point and sent in deep by the Selects as they look to get this forecheck going. This cycle, Scott Cook pinned up an Avro down low. Puck ends up to Hepner. Back down low to Scott Cook. Is that taken away by the Avros, but not cleared out up the boards. Trying to go down that left side. Sits down low, Scott Cook on it again. Into the feet. That goes to Hepner. As Heidinger cuts that off along the boards. Keeps this in for the Eastman Selects. Now Hepner takes this away. Wins the forecheck battle down low. Protects on the outside to the point. Beta Rigaud skates to the middle. Now puts on the move. Stops up. And now loses her edge. And Avro lost her edge as well as she sends this all the way down for a clear. Will be down for an icing, not what the Avros wanted there. But with 10:45 remaining, it's the Selects who have really started to put the pressure on now, leading this game in shots with 21-19 for the Winnipeg side. And with that, gets a bit lighter again here at the CRC. As Caitlin Schroeder takes the draw against Wozni. Tie up on the draw. The Avros victorious out of it. Zent off the backboards. Connects on D-to-D with Leah Clausen. Hounded in the corner by Isabella Carrier. In there as well to help Schroeder. Takes a bit of a two-hander from behind there by Pierre. Schroeder back on it. Gets knocked off the puck by Rio Pierre. Plays it off the boards, but cut off by Normando. Sent down low now by Dixon. Physical play in the Selects end right now. It's sent all the way back down deep and rimmed around. Schroeder makes it all the way to the top of the point. Sends us in deep again. This first one on it will be Leah Clausen. Surveys her options, goes up the left side. That bounces into the Eastman and over the stick of Blake Haas, who first one on it. Haggard right in the area, lurking on that forecheck. It's Wozniak's first forechecker in for the Avros. Now Selects able to get this back in their own end as they work it out. Blake Haas just past the red line, sends this in deep. Down below the Avros goal line is banked off the boards, up high in the Avros zone, played out but taken away by Beavis as she goes for a skate. Beavis down the left side, her shot turned aside, gets it right back as Beavis off of a rebound, and she gets held up along the boards. Ref calling a penalty here, so I believe it will be coming up, no, to this Avros side instead. No, wait, it will be to, yes, the Avros, who are going off for a penalty. So we got that one right. And what was kind of confusing there, Labossiere didn't go to her bench right away. No one was calling her over from that Eastman side. But in fact, it is the Eastman Selects who go back onto the power play. Celine Wozniak in the box. What do the Avros got left in the tank here? Under halfway remaining in this third period, still up 1-0. Had some chances to extend their lead, but not many in this period so far. It's just been the Selects who have bottled up a lot of things for this Avros squad in terms of their offensive chances, and they've had a lot of offensive pressure for Eastman. But here, pickpocketed, it's Pierre who takes it away and alone scores! The best player in the MFHL this season. You can make an argument she's been the best in the playoffs so far. An undeniable fact, the top goal scorer heading into this matchup today adds on her 12th of this postseason, her first of this final series. Short-handed for number 9, superstar Magic, putting her Avros on her back like she has so many times this year. This time it's short-handed. That goal brought to you by Mid-Canada Fasteners and Tools. Pierre wants to play on. We know Almeida wants to play on. I think the rest of this Avros squad wants to play on till Tuesday. That's exactly what it's looking like right now. 8:16 remaining. Still over a minute left on Eastman's power play. It's a dangle from Pierre, freezes Labossiere for putting it in with the backhand, and talked about, oh yes, last game, this Avros team being opportunistic. Banking in on their chance there as Almeida makes another save. About her 22nd or 23rd of the afternoon. Two to nothing. Winnipeg leads as they win the draw. Jenna Turner tries to send this out, and she does. Hold at the wall, not quite strong enough for this Selects group. As it's Grenier. Spins away from the check-in, drops this back. It's back into the corner for Grenier. Now down below along the backboards for Remillard, who gets this over to Delaney Rigaud with 30 seconds left. Remillard trying to dig this away from the corner. Rigaud ends up getting it on her stick. Back to Beavis now. Back to Delaney Rigaud. She unloads. That shot turned aside by Almeida. Rebound cleared away by the Avros. Now clearing that puck. No, not quite out of there, and thought for sure it was hard enough by how it started off, but didn't finish the way they needed it to. That save, a great finish from Almeida in that sequence. Not letting up, sticking with it all the way as we are back to even strength now. With the short-handed goal against, short-handed goal for the Avros against for the Select squad. This will be the Avros who play this out of play off of a stick into their bench. with 6:52 remaining on this third period clock. Thank you so much for tuning into this one if you have. It's been a great one here. 2-0 in favor of the Avros. Looking to play on and extend this series to a Game 4, which will happen, if it does, on Tuesday night at Seven Oaks Arena. This held in by the Selects. They're not quite done here yet. Hepner tries to send it to Scott Cook, but she was tied up well by Zant. As the Avros work this out on the transition. Wozni whacks this in deep. She gets rimmed around hard. Number 10 in Haggard gets a stick on at first. Out of the reach of Robin Clausen as she continues on the forward check. But Scott Cook strong enough along the boards to protect. Now turned over. Robin Clausen. That shot high up. Handcuffs the boss a bit, but able to hold it off strong enough. The Avros look to get a bit of pressure going. They can't hold it in, though, as that pass off the mark towards the blue line. As Carlin Zant pass up to Lavalley. That cross-ice pass towards Pierre just misses as Pierre back onto the ice for the first time since scoring that go-ahead shorthanded goal. So the Avros get their lines reset. They're killing off yet another penalty. In a game where, well, they've been the ones in the box more times compared to game number 2, where they had most of the power play opportunity. Funny enough, with all that power play opportunity Eastman had, it's a shorthanded goal that gets us to 2-0. And our second goal in this one. With 4:59 remaining, off the backboards, D to West as the Avros up the middle. It's Pierre. She'll take it herself. Her teammate's going off for a line change. Tries to drag it through Hawes, but a nice stick from number 12 to shut down number 9 there. Hawes gets it right back. There's a bit of a circle in her own end before skating up with this. Plays it to Delaney Rigaud, who Rigaud freezes. Takes it to the net. What a move from 18. Denied in front. Loose puck still there. Searching for it. Who gets it? I believe it's Alameda who covers this up. As through all the pressure, all the traffic, everything collapsing around her, number 35 up to the task. So will she earn yet another player of the game? Questionable right now, to be honest with you. There's a lot of Avros that have been, well, in my opinion, there's a few choices that you can make in this one. We may have already made up our mind already, but stay tuned for after this game as we'll have players of the game in our post-game show for both sides, including the Selects, of course, as Delaney Rigaud. That shot wide of the net with 4:03 remaining now. Shot sails into the corner, going off of a stick. So it got deflected as Heidinger gets spun around by number 5 and Dinez. No call on the play. As all the way down this goes into the select zone. Beavis first one on it. That pass misses Lexi Remillard but gets to Heidinger. Now taken away by Shane Scott Cook. Trying to muscle her way through but standing up to her well. Wozni now battles hard along the corner to try to get that puck back. Got played in front of the Avros crease. Almost danger for them. Instead, they send this all the way down, back into the select zone. Wozni clogs the wall, gets in the lane. Now it'll be Robin Clausen who intercepts that, picks it off midair, but the Selects get it right back. Heidinger, she gets stopped up, has that puck taken away, but a nice job by Scott Cook to get a stick right in on Wozni right after. As the two battle in that corner, sent out by the Avros now, as the Selects have their goalie pulled. With just under 3 minutes remaining. That into the skates of Rigaud. Almost a mispass in the favor of the Avros. And that could be in favor of the Avros heading towards the net, but blocked up instead. Recovered by Vader Rigaud. In the final minutes of this one coming up. It's Dixon. She pulls that back, but picked her pocket was number 21 in Evie West. The Selects, all-out attack, all-out swarm, denied on that chance. Isabella Carrier to the point she gets this. to number 7 in Beavis towards the net. That in the slot, turned aside by Almeida. I believe it was Schroeder or Dixon who took the shot. Beavis gets it right back. Her shot towards the net, but not getting the deflection she needed. West taken out hard into the boards, which draws a penalty. Oh, sorry, that's Clausen who draws the penalty. You got taken out hard there into the end boards. So it'll be number 18, Delaney Rigaud, heading to the box. Funny enough, leaves make-hand fasteners and tools on the screen. As for this Avros side, would love to add on another goal, but most importantly, don't give one up. And look to control this puck. Don't give Eastman any chances to be able to get down, get 5-on-5, and pull their goalie. As the Avros, first thing down right, which is winning the draw. Shot goes wide of the net as Adeline Nolgren recovers it off the corner boards. Turner, her pass misses. Doesn't stay in the zone, but that doesn't matter for the Avros as they still control. Under 2 minutes remain. A short pass up to Lavalley down the right side. Lavalley stick handles, fires, handcuffs Labossiere again, but out to clear it away. Beavis, she clears it all the way down. No icing will be called on the play, but the Selects running out of time here to be able to wrap this thing up on home ice. They're down 2 in this one into the final 90 seconds of action. Sent down again by the Selects, but picked off by the Avros in Shortridge as she leaves this back for Pierre. Pierre now sends this cross ice to Carlin Zant as Zant gets cut off by Callie Remillard. Into the corner. 70 seconds remain in this one now as both teams try to dig away and get this puck back in their position. The Selects send this out, and out of play at that too. The linesman calling that it ended up nicking a piece of the bench. Which is the Selects bench. As draw one by this Winnipeg Avros squad, controlled into the final minute of play here of regulation. 2-0 the Avros lead. And under a minute away now from sending this series back to Winnipeg for Game 4 on Tuesday night. The Avros, in fact, hadn't won a game in their final series in 2018-19 against the Westman Wildcats. Not sure if they thought back to it, or the coaching staff did, but this afternoon, with their passionate fans on their side, behind them, with big-time performances from Rio Pierre, Liberty Amy, Adriana Almeida again with a shutout. This time it'll be a bit different for Ashley Van Aglen and this Avros side, as they won't go home without any wins this time around. They in fact win a game. Is this the start of them breathing life into this series for themselves? Well, we'll find out if they're able to win on Tuesday night to bring it back here to Niverville for a Game 5, which we played next Saturday. But first things first, the Avros stay alive. Their season still going as they get a huge shutout victory, giving the Eastman Selects a taste of their own medicine as they shut them out in Game 2. Well, we'll return the favor, Winnipeg says. Adriana Almeida was perfect in this one this afternoon. Literally a shutout on the board. Her first of this postseason. Now leads the postseason leaderboards in wins, as Rio Pierre adds to her point lead, and her goalie too gets to 12 goals in the postseason, 16 points in total. And that goal from her, absolutely clutch from number 9, putting her team on her back to give her team some insurance on the scoreboard. So they're only up 1-0 to that point. But even before, in that that second period of action, when the Avros are able to score that game-opening goal, it's Pierre who Looks like she's not going to be able to get that pass over to Liberty Amy initially, who sends it to her with one hand and just doing whatever it took this afternoon. It started from the top, from Rio Pierre, all the way down to the bottom, as every single Avro played their part against an Eastman Selects team who, pulled away in the shots a bit in the end, but start off this game with only 3 shots for. Uncharacteristic for an Eastman team who, look, as consistent as this team has been in this postseason and all season long. The last game of the season to win when you're trying to clinch a championship is always the hardest, and the last game of the series to close it out is always the hardest, because you're probably going to get the best game from your opponent, which was showcased from the Avros here tonight, or this afternoon. And proven that this Avros team isn't going away quite yet. As for this squad, we'll be getting to Game 4 on the network coming up on Tuesday night from Seven Oaks Arena. We'll be on the call. But an absolute massive victory for the Avros is now, look, you give yourself hope. You give yourself life. You breathe that life and hope into this series. And you give yourselves a chance now. And a chance where you still believe, if you still believe in yourselves, great things could potentially happen for this side, which isn't quite done here for Winnipeg. The players of the game will start off with the visiting side, the losing side, as I should say, which was the home side for this game this afternoon in the Eastman Selects. In terms of whose game I like tonight from the Eastman side, as we take a look through their roster here, through their lineups. You know what? Really did like the game of... Thought the game of Isabella Carrier was strong here this afternoon for the Select. She had a few nice moves in this game and was making some dangerous things happen in the offensive zone. Good on the forecheck, as she usually is. And dangerous in the offensive zone tonight, I believe. Had a few chances where she put the moves on the Winnipeg Avros defense. But tough to pick, who ends up getting the player of the game here in a team that shut out in the Eastman Selects. We don't say that often, as they're usually the ones shutting out their opponents. But thought that number 8 in Isabella Carrier gave a pretty solid effort throughout these 60 minutes. As it's not brought to you by Terrico, it should be brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia for this player of the game. And liked Isabella's all-around game in this contest here this afternoon. But as for the Winnipeg Avros, by the way, this loser side player of the game brought to you by Can Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia, Winnipeg's premier sports cards and memorabilia store. Be sure to check them out for more details at their website at cancentralsportscards.com, as well as at their one store location at 995 Milt Eagle Drive in the city of Winnipeg. As for the Winnipeg Avros, with 2 points tonight, an assist, the primary one on Liberty Amy's goal, as well as the second goal shorthanded on the night, or on the afternoon. Rio Pierre, put her team on her back this afternoon. Loved how that line played. Thought Callie Lavalley had a very strong game today too, and was making a ton of stuff happen. But it's Rio Pierre who ices this game for the Avros to help bring maybe new life into this team, as they've been playing better and better as this series goes along, and finally get rewarded with the win. Number 9, a big part of that. So, player of the game brought to you by McKen Fasteners and Tools for the winter side and the Winnipeg Avros. Rio Pierre, number 9. Your one-stop shop for all your industrial needs. McKen Fasteners and Tools. Sure to check out their store locations in Winnipeg and in Brandon, as well as checking out their website at mckenfasteners.shop for more details today. This is it for now, MFHL fans, until Tuesday. We've had a lot of fun calling this one. Thank you for tuning in once again. Hope to see you again on Tuesday night, as, yes, this series now to 2-1. The Avros are still standing here in the MFHL postseason. Do they extend it to a Game 5 and bring the series back to what would be the finale no matter what in Game 5 next Saturday? Well, I'll have to wait and find out for Tuesday night's result. I've been your host and play-by-play commentator, Graham, the G-Show Forsyth. Thank you so much for tuning in to this one. Thank you to Mid-Canton Fasteners and Tools, Terrico Goaltenders, and Canton Central Sports Cards and Memorabilia for sponsoring another edition of MFHL Game Day. The Avros and Selects for putting on another show. And as for the Avros, as mentioned, as the great Elton John has said before, as a song named this, still standing, and the Avros still standing after a huge Game 3 win. Take care, everybody. Thanks for choosing G-Show Productions once again for your home of MFHL hockey here in 2024-2025. We'll see you on Tuesday night for Game 4 at Seven Oaks Arena. Take care, everybody.